Hello, welcome guys. Today I'll show you how to use the Golden project. It's a decentralized knowledge graph or engine, as you may call it, on different topics, and it has been existing for a long time. So if you want to understand what this project is all about, everybody knows Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, but there are some issues with Wikipedia that people talk about. One of them is the people who write content. So let's take, for example, this Operation Sandwich. So we just come and then all we know is that somebody wrote. There is no way, though there are ways. I don't really understand the process of maybe writing and all that. I don't know how they vet it, but what Golden we bring is, like you can see here, they raised $40 million Series B funds. What they want to do is to bring a system here. Anybody can contribute to the decentralized engine. So let's assume that any topic you see on Wikipedia, anybody can contribute to it. It could be informations like this. Or let's take, for example, I'm searching for blockchain, for example. If I search for blockchain, any entry that I can be among the people that will write any of this. I can come and make changes, or I can even be among those that after certain things have been written, I can come and be part of those that we validate to see if this stuff is true or not. So that's what the Golden project is all about. So now this funding that they raised, they are calling people to come and help them build this stuff. So they are organizing an incentivized testnet to that end. So they said 1% of the tokens at launch will be budgeted to this activity for those that help. So if you do the math, you know how to do the math. So let me show you the things that you can do and get reward. One of them is entity and triple submission. So let me show you what that means. First, if you come to the website like this, you are expected, Golden.com, you're expected to sign up for an account. So if you click sign up, or if you have an account before you can log in, you can input your full name, your email, your password and all that. Or you can sign up with Facebook or your Google, your Gmail account. So once you sign up, it brings you to a place like this. So this is my account. So you can either create from scratch anything you want to create, but will not be created. So what we do now is, it says entity and triple submission. Now there is a documentation for what is an entity and what is a triple. Let me open a documentation to you so that you understand. So a triple is basically a fat that is in three form. This is an example of a triple. We have Apple Inc., the CEO, and then Tim Cook is a triple. So this is a good example, like I put on my screen there. Apple Inc., the CEO, and then Tim Cook. So another one is Turkey, President Erdogan. So for as many that may not understand, let's use the USA, President Joe Biden. So this is a triple. This three entity, 1, 2, 3. So this part is what we call the subject. So the subject is the entity that we actually referring to, like it says here. The subject is the entity that is referring, that we're referring here. Now, this is the predicate. So the predicate defines, so this is the subject of reference. This is our object of reference. And then what is in the middle is what we call the relationship that binds this object to this subject. So like I put some examples here. We have things like Apple, the website, apple.com. So you can see the relationship. So let's assume, for example, you talk about Amazon. Amazon is the subject we are referring to, and then if you put the website, you can say amazon.com is the object. Now I will go into the rules for triple validation. Now there are basic rules that it talks about how you should go about it. So that's what they call a triple. Now let me show you. There are two things you can do. One of them is you can submit a triple. I'll show you how to do that. So if you come to a place like after you sign up, I'll show you how to do that. Then the next thing is you can do a validation. So this is what a validation. So somebody has entered an information. You are to, but let's not get that here ahead of ourselves. So let's go to this. So let's assume, according to our paper, that the entity and triple submission. So let's assume that we want to do and I want to enter an entity. So let's say depending on the topic you are talking about, let me use those that like football. Let me use the EPA. Let me go to their standings. You can use any kind of data that you want. So let me use Everton, for example. Okay. So I will search for Everton here. So I believe somebody has done something. Everton. So I'll say Everton FC. It will bring information about Everton FC. Now this is what people have written. So all these are structured data. If I click structured data, so this is the structured data. So what I will do is I will click edit. Now it says if you edit the structured data, you are eligible for an airdrop. That is if it's accepted. So I'll click that, and then you can see the information. Headquarters is in Liverpool, that Twitter URL, arrow, and all that. So there are different things about the entity, like what is the entity, is it a company, is it a product, is it a software. You can enter a feed about the a new feed to the entity and all that. So let's look for things. Business model. It's a football club, so they do advertising, some form of advertising. So I'll search for advertising. So that is that. Competitors. So you can see here the competitors. So if you come here, like I was saying before, this is the league, right? All these are their competitors. They are in the same league, so they are competing for one position. So there is a competitor. I'll search for these Nottingham Forest. Nottingham. So I cannot find anything about Nottingham Forest. So I'll click add value. Nottingham Forest. Let me search if there is Fulham. Okay, there is no Fulham. So I will search Fulham. Okay, so I've added that feed. What again? Parents organizations. Maybe if there's any data you feed that was not here, you can come here and search for it. Maybe partners. You can see things like patent, if they have a patent, if something that has an inventor, and the rest of them. So what I'm looking for is partner organizations. So partner organizations, the companies that they are working with for different things. So I'll search for Everton FC partners. So this is, they even have a full list of partners. Okay, so let's let's wait for that. So we can see human, fanatics, socials. So basically enter as many entities you added the value. Socials. What's the next? Bust. Okay. Boss. So you can enter as many. So I've just entered 2. Those are what we call entities. Human. Lucozade. Let me enter human and show you. So in cases where you are not sure, you just use something else. Okay, Lucozade spot. So key people, you can put those who run the company and the club and all that, or even some players that they may have. Let me check Lampard. Is that coach? I can find Lampard, so I can put Frank Lampard as their coach. Okay, so I can add as many information as possible. You can see many things: total funding, their official email address. You can search for that if you can find it. Their app store, other manner of information. So once you're done, you click publish. So it will tell you the changes you made. So I added this. I added that the business model is advertising. There are 2 competitors for them. I added Frank Lampard as a coach. Then I added some partners. So you can see the entity. So I added this as an entity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've entered 7 entities. So you click published. So the changes have been made. So if you are talking about the competitors now, you can see the reason you didn't added those 2 is because they are still under validation, but it just added them. Okay, I know that information. Now this is entity entry. These are the things you can do. You can search any topic apart from football. You can search about the person. Let's take Joe Biden, for example. You can enter any information you deem fit about Joe Biden. Anything you deem fit. Now, this is what is eligible if you are doing this. This is what we call prose. So this is the written, they call it written prose. So it's like a description, but structured data are things like this. Just the sparse website, country, nationality, education. Those are what we call structured data. So it is structured data that will be rewarded for now. So I've spoken enough on that. The next is validation. So those data are entered. Everton, this is their partners. Like I entered socials as a partner for Everton. I entered Lucozade Sport. So it's going to display here to be Everton partner socials. So like this case now, it says Juventus FC Association Football Club, the website. Now if it says, of course we know we can do a Google search. So let's say Juventus FC. If we come to this place, this is the official website of Juventus FC, Juventus.com. but it's saying here now that it is snapshot/ad. So this is probably their snapshot address. If I can pull up the information, snapshot. I can't even find it. So of course, this is not their website. So there are three things you could do. You could accept if the answer is true. You could reject if the answer is false, or you can skip if you feel it's ambiguous. So here the answer is wrong. If the predicate here, this is the subject, this is the object. If the predicate here was Juventus FC, let me open this. If it says the snapshot ULRS, what is written here, then we accept it to be true. But when you say the ULR is this, it's not to be taken. So right now I will click reject. That's the correct answer. So you can see it's validating. Yeah. So once it's done, it will it brings one at a time. Okay, this is what we're talking about. So this is their this was the official website like we opened before. This. So this is their snapshot page. So you can say their snapshot page is their website. So that is wrong. Now there are various rules for triples. So let me read the rules out so that you understand the rules. So what it's saying is that like from here, the task is your task to decide if the URL show is the entity primary or official. I know that. Let me know. I'll go through that. I've already talked about skipping and something like this. Accept if it's true, reject if it's not true, skip if it's. So you saw now skips can increase or decrease. So if I decide to skip, it will say, okay, you skipped one time, it will decrease the number of skipped. Now the more you answer accept or reject, the more the skips will be over time. So the next rule, let me close this. Okay, there are penalties and then there are rewards. Now this is the penalty. Let me explain it with this. So if you come here and say your activity, now you can see I've done 13 votes so far. Now this is my vote. This is the consensus. This is the general public what they are voting on. So you can see in this case, I said accept, and it's still validating. So they've not yet decided on the general consensus. Have not decided what direction. Now let's see this case where I voted reject, and then the general consensus also voted reject. So it means that I am in line with consensus. So meaning what the general public is voting on is the same thing as what I have accepted or rejected as well consensus. So if you are the side of the general public, so let's take for example we have 100 persons, and 100 persons are saying, let's say 60 said reject, maybe in this case, right? Then you are on the and then you rejected, you are on the line. So in this case, you will be rewarded. Why? Because you are in the point of consensus. As you can see in cases like this, reject, rejected, reject, rejected, reject, rejected, reject, rejected. Now, but if I voted, let's say reject, and then the consensus was accepted, it means that I will be penalized. So the penalty is that they will slash my points, and I will not get token reward for airdrop. So that is the penalty and all that. So I also talk about that it's okay to skip a point. Now another thing again is that non-English content. So let's take for example you open the website and let's assume this is the website. This is originally the website. Now it's written, a lot of it in Russian. You are not to accept this website, so you have to click reject because majority of the content is written in a language that is not English. So that is the rule. Okay, broken, redirected, or non-loading links. So let's take for example, you clicked on the link and then it's the link is broken. It's not displaying. You have 404 errors. Like so sometimes you maybe it's your browser that is not trying to open the link. So I have different browsers. Sometimes I use the Firefox. So maybe I posted a link on one of the browsers, it's not working. I try another browser. I try like 3 browsers. So if the link is still not going through, then I can come and vote reject, depending on the case. Okay, now understand this. In saying something, if Tim Cook as the subject and then he says website, timcook.com is submitted and Tim Cook redirects to apple.com/leadership, such triple should be accepted, right? Now, but if it redirects to another website, it should not be accepted. So it's saying that the personality, if it redirects to another place, and that it also talks about the personality, even though it was also submitted as personality, you should accept. But if it redirects to something else that is not talking about the personality, you may want to reject it. Okay, so for predicates, let me say this. If you have Tim Cook website Apple, like I think I wrote here, Tim Cook, supposing Tim Cook website, then you have, let me use this to explain my point. If you have Tim Cook website, apple.com, this is wrong because apple.com is not the website of Tim Cook. So the correct one would have been this. The correct one would have been applewebsite.com. Or if you had written this, maybe because now you're trying to refer to Tim Cook website, then it's correct. So like as it's written here. Now it says something. A social URL submitted for a website predicate should not be accepted as a website. Like we rejected for the case of the Juventus stuff. So don't accept a social website, social URL for such a purpose. Reject it. Shortened links, don't accept shortened links. So if you click YouTube u.tv, this will redirect to YouTube, but it says you should reject. Use only official links. So the next is social URLs. So let me use this to explain. So it says products rarely have social URLs, but their parent company often does. So let's take for example, this is the link day of Amazon, right? Now, if Amazon, for let's say Amazon Kindle product may not have another URL, depending on the company, right? So let's take for example, what it's saying is that we have the Apple phone, the Mac, I know that. Maybe they have their own, let's say social media website, maybe their own Twitter page. Now, but you do not expect them. Now, they may not have, so they have a general Twitter page that covers Apple TV, Apple phones, the Apple Watch, the MacBook. Now, in other cases, they may not have things like a special social page for, let's say, Apple MacBook or Apple phones and the rest of them. So that's what it's talking about. So if you are referring to the Apple MacBook and then they made mention of the Apple social media page, so it should be accepted. So that is what this rule says. Now another rule says that yes, don't accept accounts, social media accounts that are created by parody people. So let's say, for example, we're talking about Tim Cook. If the account was not created by Tim Cook, maybe somebody created it. Anybody can create a social media page to scam people or to do whatsoever. Don't accept such links. And the next thing is a YouTube video about the entity should be rejected. So I think I used this as an example yesterday. So this is Gitopia. They have their own social. So if a person wrote maybe on the validation, a Gitopia as a subject, YouTube URL arrow, and then they put a video that talked about them. Now this is their channel. If you click on it, you get that link. Now these guys and some other persons like this, they talked about Gitopia. Now don't accept a video about the entity, whether it is them from themselves or no. The video you should accept, the link, sorry, you should accept is the link to their own channel, something like this. So those are the rules for validation. Okay, it says promotional coin. Let's do this before I put it into the video. Promotional coin, and then it's bringing this phishing. It's saying the white paper URL arrow. Okay. Let me see phishing.io. It's not. Okay, but since it's there, I'm trying to sorry guys, I'm trying to see promotion coin. Okay, this is the company. Let's see, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. Okay. Okay, promotion coin. Yeah, white paper. Okay, so it's true. So in this case, I'll click accept, and then you can do a manner of things, and the subject could change. So, guys, I hope I've been able to provide you value. 1% is what is being allocated to this task. So ensure you submit as many as possible, because a lot of people have been submitting. So you can submit through an API. If you go to the leaderboard, you can see how many triples have been submitted so far. Over 9 million. And then what has been accepted so far is 400 and something thousand. So that is even less than 5%. This is the points that have been awarded so far. So then you can see the leaderboard. So you can, this is me, 13, just 13. So you can decide to comment, work hard, and be among those, because there's a lot of you just do the math, 1%, and the evaluation is always 10 times. So all the best. I hope this video have been able to provide you value. Thank you and bye for now.